Hey, writing this is a little video. We're going over the HOU or however you want to say it, HOU iPad mini keyboard case. It's about the only iPad mini keyboard case that I was willing to buy because a lot of the ones you find, they look like grandma's keyboard case. They're just always the usual big and bulky, trying to be overprotective cases that I don't really care about the protection. I don't need the protection. That's why I have insurance in case I break the damn thing. This iPad means a lot to me, so of course I have insurance on it. But yeah, I don't really care about the protection. I just wanted to look decent, and in order to find it looks decent, you have to go with this, and this is about the best you're gonna get. I do have gripes about it, quite a lot of gripes, and we will get to those gripes in a minute. But first, we'll start off by the actual design of the keyboard case. We're going to leave it on. But so you can see, looks pretty much like the official Apple Magic keyboard case. I don't have mine to show because I've given away the iPad Pro, so I don't have a keyboard case that one to show off. But it looks pretty much like it. It just the way that you use it is a little bit different, obviously, because there's no way they could, I guess, get that hinge on there. There is another one that actually really tries to emulate that one, but it does a really bad job at it because apparently the hinge snaps on it, and I don't even want to waste my time where I get it, I use it, and by the time it's past the return date, then I can't return it. That would get me kind of annoyed. So that's why I prefer to just get something that's simple and doesn't have too many things that's gonna break on it. So anyway, when you see it, you can see the actual way you adjust it is by using the actual top half, and I don't know how they got this hinge to do it, but it's kind of flippy floppy, and then once you start pushing it, it begins to actually do that, and then it's solid, which is pretty cool. So when you first, you may think like, oh, this is broken. No, it's actually, you just gotta actually put it down and then it'll start working. So keep that in mind. Now, in terms of the fit and finish of it in the actual case, that's where I get a little bitchy moany, is that it doesn't exactly, like, there's a lot of overbleed. It doesn't, it doesn't exactly get in the doesn't always dock 100% properly. The magnets to me are a little too soft. The magnets aren't strong enough to me. You can see there's a lot of overbleed, like almost close to like a millimeter or two of overbleed of just dead area that just could be trimmed down. To me, I don't like how they have this extra open spacing on it. It is good that you can actually put your Apple Pencil in it, which I had to wonder where the Apple Pencil was for a second there. So you actually can slide the Apple Pencil in there without an issue, and it will not have any problems. So if you use an Apple Pencil, you're good to go. And this is with the case, so it tells you that it can definitely handle a little bit larger of a thing. Can you attach to the monitor? Thank you. Anyway, so that's my one big gripe, is that magnets aren't strong enough, and it just a little bit too oversized in terms of like all the rest of them. What I mean by that, if I could give you a much better example of like 100% properly doing things, we'll whip out the iPad, official iPad case from Apple. You can see it pretty much zero overbleed, not even a lick of it, not even trying to be not perfectly aligned to the case, to the iPad. So yeah, but mind you, this is $50 and this is $50, so yeah, it all depends on what you're looking for. I have both, and I'll explain that in a minute why I have both. Besides buying this one first, but I have a reason why I don't keep it on here all the time. So anyway, this comes in white and black. I got it in white because I don't like black. I only have my iPad in space gray because I had no option. If I wanted 256 cellular, that's what you get. You don't get any other options because T-Mobile just doesn't keep in stock. So like I said, in order to actually open it, to use it, you just do that, and then you can slide it back. It doesn't hold into the iPad when you open it. It's most likely because they made the magnets that hold it to keep the keyboard attached to the iPad stronger than it was to keep it on the back. So that's whatever. But one thing to keep in mind is that you better unlock this damn iPad. That's what I thought. Anyway, so when it's on here, if you do use a touchscreen, note that if you kind of put a little bit pressure on the sides, as you can see, it will fall off. Just on that one side. I don't know why that one side it's not strong enough on that one side. One cool thing is that you can do it in portrait. Now you notice how it's leaning to the left, to the right. it's leaning because the magnets are not 100% strong enough to keep it on there perfectly. And that's just annoying. I think if you push it more over to the right, it usually seems to get itself to line up better and actually lock in. But yeah, it's nice that you can do it in portrait. If you do a lot of portrait stuff, that's cool, but it's not, I would not say it's made to do portrait. It doesn't exactly like, doesn't really want to be in portrait mode, honestly, but it's there as an option, which is a cool thing. And it is all magnetic. So yeah, there's that. In terms of like how much degree of freedom you get quite a bit. So you can go all the way down, almost down to there, and then you can move it right back up. Keep in mind when you do this, iPad will usually pop out when you're trying to do this because it just doesn't. This is too strong, and yet again, the magnets are not strong enough, so it won't hold itself in place. I'm bitching about the magnets a lot because they really are not strong enough for trying to hold this heavy ass iPad. But yeah. Also, you can see it also is kind of pushing it up a little bit. So that's why it kind of moves around a bit because it's not exactly like laying flat. Now, maybe with enough months of usage, it will actually lay itself down and actually be completely flat once these are kind of worn in. But I only use it about once a week, and yet again, we'll go over that in a minute of where the use case of this thing is. But yeah, it's fine. It's okay. It's about the best you're going to get. Like I said, you ain't getting any better than this. It's about the best you're going to get. One gripe with the keyboard is that while they did tried their best to keep these keys the correct size, one of the issues is obviously that there ain't enough room to have all the keys on a standard keyboard. So in order to have all those keys, they actually put them in on these sides. So you see these keys on the side. These are all, didn't know this, you have to use control to actuate them. So if you do control, then I can get the underscore. And that's just a little weird, but yeah, you have to use control to get to these keys on the side. And some of those being like the brace and the brackets, those are kind of annoying because if you're editing like JSON files or like doing any sort of coding, that's not going to work out for you because that's going to be really annoying. But it'd probably be fine. You just have to get used to holding down control instead of doing shift to access those keys. That's just how it is. You'll get used to it if you care enough. But yeah, in terms of these keys, the keys are okay. They just require a little bit too much force to make them actually start working. So you have to push a little bit harder to actually get them to actually click, which I don't know why that is. It's just that, pushing down, it takes quite a bit of force before it actually starts to click down. And I would prefer if these keys were a little bit easier to press. It's on an iPad. I would think that you would make the keys very light and easy to press, but I don't know. It could just be the how they designed it, and they just designed it not to be that way. Maybe someone didn't like that, and that's why they decided to make the keys a little bit harder to push down. But okay. One good thing is that even though it's not an escape key, you can program an escape key by going into the what is it? Tell me what the key shortcut is. If you hold down, that's one of the little cool little tip. You hold down Command on iPad OS. You better do. You're gonna get punched. Okay, iPad, you ready to listen? iPad, okay, you're not helping. Anyway, you would hold down control and you get a little pop that shows you all your key shortcuts. We're not going to do that because the premium iPad OS has lost its flipping mind and does not feel like working today. So you would go into General, Keyboards, Hardware Keyboards, and Modifiers, and then you can actually reprogram the caps lock key to escape, which is cool because I don't use caps lock. I have no reason to use it, so cool to have that. Anyway, moving on from that. So that's the key. The keys are fine. Like I said, it's not a big deal. You just have to get used to these side keys. And also you have to kind of be used to moving further over to the left because if you're used to using a keyboard, you know that you typically move slightly further over to the right because of you have these much larger, shift and caps. Some of the keys are usually taking a lot more space. Since those are not there, you have to move further over to the left and start typing. So you'll get used to it. It's not a big deal, I don't see myself like doing a lot of heavy typing on this. Whenever I have a keyboard with especially an iPad mini, it's usually for like replying to messages or typing or searching things and stuff like that. It's not like I'm not writing a novel on this thing or writing code. You can't even put IntelliJ on this thing, so no, there ain't a lot of code getting written on this damn thing. But this is definitely more useful for doing for like replying to things and searching stuff. It's a good keyboard to have. In terms of charging, oh, the powered on. I didn't mention that. You hold down this button for like 10 seconds and you'll actually boot it up. And you hold down again to turn it off. And this will start, keep holding it down. You'll see it'll start flashing the low power light to let you know that it's turning off. It will auto sleep. So if you do, come on. If you just stop using about 10 minutes, it will actually go to sleep. And if you push a key, it will wake it back up. If you turn it off, you push a key, it will not wake up. So the sleep mode is kind of like just it being in standby. I wouldn't leave it like that because it may kill the battery quite quickly. I don't know. Who knows? I had never done that, so I wouldn't have an idea of that. But to charge it, you use this little magnetic docking connector thing that it comes with. They only give you a one, so don't lose it or you're screwed. Ugh, I know. That's how it is. But I also don't know where you would get another one if you lose it. So yeah, again, if you lose it, sucks to suck. Figure out a way to wire up 5 volts to those pins, I guess. It's a Type-C cable, and my opinion on Type-C is very low, especially that I hate that this is not Type-A, because it would make more sense to be Type-A. I can just plug it into one of my millions of chargers that I have, instead I have to go scrounge up a Type-C charger for this. I guess it's also good because you can actually plug it into the iPad if you wanted to charge it. Yeah, that's, it's fine. It's, I don't think it's that big a deal. When you charge this, it usually charges pretty quick. Within about an hour, if not less, it can charge the whole thing up, and you're good for probably about a month of battery. You don't have to worry about it whatsoever. In my case, it'll probably last longer because yet again, I don't use it on a daily basis. Because for me, I use this when I'm leaving. When I go to work, I use this keyboard case because I like to be able to type messages on the iPad, because the iPad is the only device that I have that has internet. My phone does not have good enough coverage, and my iPad has Ethernet, so that's the only way I can actually get messages is to go through here. So it's a lot easier, and it's also where I have my where I do YouTube for watching training and stuff like that, or just having background noise, my usual. Now, besides this, I also used, before I used this actually, not besides this, but I also used this. This is the ProtoArt keyboard, and we give you a size comparison. Looks like this, much larger keyboard, but it's a full-size keyboard, has a trackpad. Maybe if enough care, what the hell? Okay, I don't know what that is, but that, if it hasn't dried out, then it was obviously some sort of oil. Anyway, this one's a lot bigger. I like this keyboard. Maybe I'll do a review of this one day if I care enough. It's not that big a deal to bitch about. It's actually probably the only foldable keyboard I would buy, because of these hinges are much smaller. It's a much better designed keyboard than a lot of the other ones you find that are really ugly. But yeah, trackpad, 3 devices, and that type of stuff. So really, really nice keyboard. Has your modifier keys, everything you could ever want. Honestly, too much. They make a smaller version of this that omits some of the keys. I think the function rows and some of that stuff is combined to make it a much more smaller portable keyboard. That's kind of what I probably would have went with if I saw that was out. But yeah. I wish this had multiple devices so I could click my iPhone and use that. But yet again, that's not what this device is for. Some people may not be happy about the magnetic connector instead of it being a USB-C port. Well, then if you don't like that, then there's all the ugly ones on Amazon do that. I specifically got this one because it doesn't have that, because it looks more sleeker if you don't have just a big old USB-C port just honking up on the daggone thing. If you put a lightning port, it would be better, because then you could have made it a lot smaller. You wouldn't need this daggone cable. You could have just put a lightning port on the side. But as we know, every one of their mother bitches and moans like lightning's the worst thing that's ever happened. As if we haven't been using lightning for more than, 10 plus years? We've been using lightning for quite a long time, and there was an issue until all of a sudden USB-C came out and everybody started running their dick sucker as if, USB-C was the end of the damn world, when it really wasn't. Not USB-C, like micro USB and lightning and all those other connectors were just the worst thing ever created. No, not really. This is another mini tangent. That whole USB-C shit really was just companies trying to make money, because once everybody has a cable they have, you stop making money because you can't sell them to buy another goddamn cable and buy new devices and new chargers and all this shit. When micro USB was fine, lightning was fine, all that stuff worked perfectly fine. I don't know what that. All of a sudden we just need to go buy new cables and spend more money just for some reason. I don't get it. Who knows? I'm bitching and moaning. What else is new? Would you come this video to expect? Um, Anyway, so yeah, in general, it's not a bad case. I like it. I don't use it on a daily basis. I use it once a week, like I said, when I leave the house. But when I'm home, or if I'm just going somewhere, I'm usually more likely to just keep the official Apple case. One, it's much thinner, it's more sleeker. This case is a little bulky because it's a whole keyboard, obviously, and once you flip it around back, like I said before, the clearances are kind of ugh. So since it doesn't lay completely flat, it kind of has this kind of hole on it, and it also the magnets that it has, you can see, do not perfectly align it up. So you kind of have the back of the keyboard kind of just weirdly poking out the back. Yet again, I know this is nitpicking, but what are you expecting? I'm going to nitpick. The good thing is the keyboard disables when you have it on the back, so it does have sensors to notice that the keyboard has been flipped around. But yeah. It's just small things, but in reality of the situation, to end this all off, because it's about 16 minutes already talking about a damn keyboard case. To end it all off, it's fine. It's perfectly fine. It's about the best you're going to get. There is not much else that looks this sleek, and that is going to not be a big bulky case. And yeah, it's about the best you're going to get. So. I definitely say it's definitely something to buy if you have an iPad mini, and you must have a keyboard case. If you don't need it, you don't use it enough, then maybe go for one of the Proto Arc or something if you want a full size keyboard with a trackpad, because it doesn't have a trackpad, so its usability kind of turns down a bit. Like the Magic Keyboard, you leave that on there because it has a trackpad. It's so useful. So yeah. Maybe pick this up if you just want to keep using like a regular folio case, and you don't want to have the extra bulk all the time. It is kind of annoying to have to swap this in and out of the cases. I still kind of prefer this, but this is probably a much better option, because this I have to this takes up arguably much more space in my bag than these two together take a lot more space versus just that. So yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. I have nothing else to complain about. That's the end of the bitching and moaning, and I give it a sure. Go buy it. It's fine. It works fine. If you have a need for it, go get it.